Yes, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. My name is Comrade Felix Chimbinyu, and today I'm going to show you how I use my knife skills to make nutritious homemade meals. Yes. In this video, I'm going to show you how I chop all my veggies, and I'm also going to show you why this particular knife, which is the Russell Hobbs, I don't know if you guys, let me just focus on the name here, which is the Russell Hobbs Santoku knife. So I'm going to show you why this is my favorite everyday chopping knife of all the knives that I've ever used in my life. This is like the best, like the bestest knife ever. I'm also going to show you a little bit of why this Russell Hobbs peeling knife, or yeah, I call it a peeling knife because it's nice and small. I'm going to show you why this is my favorite peeling knife and how I use it to get into those, hard to reach areas in your vegetables. And I also like to use it to, most comrades, when you want to be fancy. Nice apple. So this is basically a Santoku knife, and this is my go-to knife like every day, literally with whatever I cook. So basically the knife, as you can see, is in a very weird shape, almost as if you could cut someone's head off with it. I don't know why they made it this scary. But anyways, to be able to get precision cuts with this knife, what you want to do is you want to have a nice grip on it. So a nice grip on it doesn't mean that you are holding it like this. It doesn't mean that you are holding it like this, but rather with your thumb on the top of the blade and 4 fingers on the handle. So what you want to do is with your left hand or your right hand, whichever hand you use to do your daily hand operations, what you want to do is you want to have your thumb or your big finger at the back, and then you want to have the 4 front fingers at the front. So what you do when you are cutting with the knife is you always want this side of the blade to just hit or bump your middle finger. Oh yeah, your middle finger, and then when you're cutting, you almost want it to bump, and then you go down and slide forward, bump, down and slide forward. So I'm going to show you guys an example on this old Apple engine or Apple inside, whatever. So basically what I have now is my thumb on here, and then I've got my 4 front fingers on the Apple. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bounce off and then chop down, bounce off, chop down, bounce off, chop down, bounce off, chop down, bounce off, chop down, and then you can basically go as fast as you want to go. I know that made a lot of noise, but yeah, that's how you chop with the Santoku knife. So to get accurate and equal slices or accurate and equal cuts with whatever you're chopping, that's how you would typically use a Santoku knife. So I buy my ingredients in 3 shops, mainly Food Lovers Market, Checkers, and then Lanago, my friend, Yasmos, my friend, yeah. So what I do is I buy almost 95% of my vegetables at Food Lovers Market, and then I buy all my meat and other groceries at Checkers. And then my friend is like a, most comrade, it's like a subsidy, whenever you need 1 tomato or you need 1 onion or maybe like a peppernyana, you go there with my friend, you see. Yes. So I'm going to show you guys how I chop garlic, onion, some herbs, carrots, and disclaimer. Okay, I don't know where that came from, but I am not a professional chef, so the skills that I'm showing you here are not of professional quality. If you want to gain good culinary skills, you can go to any culinary school and then you get what you want. But otherwise, with these skills that I'm going to show you, please make sure that if you are young, you use them under the supervision of an adult. If you are an adult, please be careful, as very sharp knives have a great ability to chop off your fingers. I couldn't have said it any better. Just chop off your fingers. To start chopping your onion, you want to chop it in half, making sure that you go through the root. This will ensure that you do not cry when peeling your onion off, and it will also make it easier to take off the peels. So now we're going to chop off the tip, and make sure when you're cutting your onion first, you cut it with your knife pointed towards the root. Turn it around, chop away, and ensuring that your fingers are moving back in consistent increments so that you can get a nice, perfect, thinly sliced dice. You can also use this method to get nice and consistent half moon ring slices when chopping your onion. Purple onions are generally used for stuff like salads and garnishing your food. And here you don't really have to do much. You just take off the cover peel and then you chop away in slices. So this is basically called a full moon ring, but you can call it slices if you want, if you don't want to be fancy. And as you can see here, the advantage of keeping your fingers consistent is that you get a nice, thin and even slice. And what is good food without a nice clove of garlic? So basically I first smash my garlic and smash the second one, if you will. So this makes it easier for you guys to take off the peels on your garlic. Try it out, it's very fun to do. And then when you're done taking off your peel, chop out the root and start slicing your garlic as shown in the video. But what I like to do is that I like to chop my garlic finely so that when I put it in my food, it doesn't have like those big chunks of garlic, unless you're going for like a fancy dish. But I like to keep mine chopped finely so that it can spread evenly throughout my food. Yes. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to chop basil and also some rosemary. So I first lay my basil on top of each other as shown in the video. And then what I like to do is I like to slice it in half first before I do anything to it. And then I lay the other half on top of the other half so that it can become a half or half-half. And then I just chop it away into nice, thin, even slices. Well, basically for the main reason for it to spread. So I also like chopping the stem because apparently that brings in a lot of flavor in your food. So who doesn't want more flavor in their food? So to scoop all my veggies off my my cutting board, I actually use my knife. So I just scoop them onto my knife and then put them on whatever surface I'm putting them on. And now we get into the rosemary. I personally prefer using baby rosemary because it's nice and tender. So what I like to do is I like to cut off the edge or the tip because it's the hardest, and then I chop it into very fine chopped rosemary, because I believe that just chopping it like that will give you much more flavor than if you were to take off the leaves and chop it like that. So it's advisable for me to just chop it with the stem and just put everything in there, because I want the flavor, most comrade, you see. You must put the flavor, chief, so that the flavor can be very nice, yes. So carrots are said to improve your eyesight, and since I am partially blind, yeah, I like to eat my carrots. So basically I use this weird peeling method that my dad taught me when I was a kid. And I basically like to use my small peeling knife for this purpose, as you can see there in the video. So this is typically an example of how I would use my peeling knife. As you can see, with this method, you waste far less carrot skin than the usual traditional ways. So clean off your chopping board to avoid any unnecessary dirt on it. Grab your carrot, chop it in half, and then what you want to do from there, you want to turn it, chop it in half again, turn it whatever direction that suits your hand, and then chop that in half, and then you start chopping it as shown in the video so that you can achieve nice thin strips. Carrot strips are mainly used for stuff like stir fries and chakalaka, baby. So what you want to do now is you want to turn around your carrot strips, arrange them nicely, and give them a nice little chop to turn them into dices. What you can also get is nice circular circles or nice circles. So I also like this slanted circles as they've got a more appealing shape and they can make your dishes stand out. Very, very nice. So now I'm going to show you guys what you can achieve from the basic cutting skills that I just showed you. And Lego. Yes, so I had to put on my hoodie because it's quite cold here in the kitchen. So if you guys found this video useful to you and think that you can use these tips in your daily cooking life, give this video a thumbs up, comment on it, and subscribe. Yes, comrade, subscribe, because you see, the subscription is very important, comrade, because it contributes to the economic growth of the economy, you see. Yes, yes, comrade. And as usual, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Have a great one.